Happy Saint Bartholomew's Day. It's Martyr Monday on a Friday. Bartholomew. In Hebrew, probably Bartholomeus, the son of Ptolemaeus, was also called Nathaniel. He's listed amongst the 12 apostles in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John calls him by another name, Nathaniel. Remember that story in the Gospel of John where Philip, one of the disciples of John, goes and tells his good friend Nathaniel, we found the Messiah, and Nathaniel meets Jesus and he says, I saw you sitting under the fig tree. Here is it, and truly an Israelite in whom there is no guile. Well, that's our man Bartholomew. Now we don't hear anything. He's listed amongst the apostles in the list in Acts, but we don't know anything else about him from the scriptures, although there's a lot of stuff on what happened to Bartholomew in the tradition of the church, especially starting with Eusebius. It was said that Bartholomew traveled to India and Armenia. So he's celebrated. Here, let's see. Here's Israel here. Let me see. I got to actually point it at the camera for you to see it. Here's Israel here. India is here. Armenia is here between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. And so it was said that, and there's kind of competing traditions, but that he went to India and died in India, but it seems like the most attested to was that he went over here to Armenia, and then he died here on the coast of the Caspian Sea. Now, the tradition was that in fact happened on August the 24th when he was 50 years old. And there's three ways that it's discussed that Bartholomew died. It seems like that he was maybe beheaded, maybe he was crucified upside down like Peter. But the most well attested to was that he was skinned alive before he was beheaded, if you can imagine that. And that's how he's represented in art. For example, in Michelangelo's Last Judgment, there's Saint Bartholomew holding his skin and a knife by which he was flayed alive. Now, it was said that happened, I got the details here, I can never remember this kind of stuff, that he was skinned alive by the prince there, by the order of Astyages, for having converted his brother Polemus, king of Armenia. So that the preaching of Bartholomew, by his preaching, one king was converted to Christianity, and so the king's brother had him killed by being flayed alive. Now, we don't know if that story is true or not, but it reminds us, I can't remember who said this, someone said this to me sometime this last year. They said, you can learn all you need to know about a person when you know who their heroes are. And it is amazing to me that the church, in the church we have these heroes, biblical heroes and heroes of the faith after the close of the canon. And the heroes that we have are the martyrs. They're not those who went out and conquered the world, but there's those who endured all kinds of torture, torment, and suffering, even to the end. Hebrews tells us that they wandered around as if they had no home. They were beaten and rejected, of whom the world was not worthy. And so it was with Saint Bartholomew, your brother, and the one whose martyrdom we remember today. Happy Saint Bartholomew's Day. We were talking a lot about the martyrs yesterday for a different reason, and it reminded me how important these Martyr Mondays, even on a Friday, are. So I'll try to get back and telling some more stories, but if you search Martyr Monday or look at the Martyr Monday playlist, you can see some of the other stories. I did a very interesting thing. I've got Luther's works on the computer so I can search them, and I searched for martyr in Luther's works. I was looking for where Luther quoted Tertullian's little phrase, the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. And it's incredible. For some reason, I never realized this. But Luther mentions the martyrs. He's got 55 volumes. He mentions the martyrs minimum 10 times in each one of these volumes. Luther is always talking about the martyrs. So I'm going to start tracking that down now. Luther loves especially to talk about the martyrs when he's exegeting the Psalms. So look forward to more of that as well. And thanks for tuning in, for subscribing. If you have comments or things to jot down below. If you know something about Nathaniel, Saint Bartholomew that I'm forgetting, then please add that to the comments as well. And thanks for being part of the fun over here. God's peace be with you, and may God the Holy Spirit give us this same courage to stand and confess our faith even when it's time to lose our skin.